Hey guys, welcome to Outlaw Edge. So today, what I wanted to talk about, this is gonna be a long video, and what I want to talk about is like what's in a fabricator's toolbox, or what does a fabricator use on the job or on his as a profession. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start. And I got everything laid out right here, and this is pretty much everything that a welder fabricator would use on a daily basis, and this is your important stuff. Everything else is going to be like a box of hand tools and stuff like that. And I got some of that stuff that I'll talk about in a minute, but like I said, this is going to be a long video, so hang in there. First thing first is going to be personal protection, equipment, PPE, and that's going to be your like a nice welding jacket and welding gloves. And this is a KT Industries automatic welding helmet. And what this has on it right here, this is the one set up so it has grind. You flip that forward for grind and flip it back for weld. And this is a nice helmet. I like it. It's just it's a cheaper one. It's not nothing super crazy fancy. It was like 80 bucks, 90 bucks, something like that. And it's never let me down. It's been a good one. So this is talking about metal shaping and metal welding. MIG, TIG, arc, and you know that style of welding, and then also the metal shaping part of it. So what I have for metal shaping would be a beater bag, and this is used in shaping the metal, and you guys have seen this in a lot of my videos. And then I have a hammer here. This is a poly hammer used for shaping the metal. This right here is invaluable. If you're going to be shaping metal, you can use a shrinking stump, which I'll do a video on that pretty soon, and then you could also use the metal beater bag. And these are pretty cheap. They're at Eastwood. I think they're what are they, like 40 bucks, something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
And all this stuff on here doesn't need to be super high quality stuff. You know, if a person wants to spend like $1,000 to get everything for themselves to be, become a fabricator, but if you're like a home fabricator where you're still learning and trying to do this stuff, you don't need to spend $1,000. You can spend a couple $100. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you can find at yard sales, flea markets, and swap meets and whatever, and buy the stuff on the cheap. One of the most important things that I use all the time is a nice square edge, and that's gonna be just an aluminum yardstick. Got this like at a yard sale for like 25 cents. That's awesome to have that. This is one of the most important to me. One of the most important things that a fabricator needs. This has everything in it from nuts and bolts to sizes, and this is a pocket reference book, and I've had this one probably 25 years or more, and it's been way used. But this also, I have a Stair guide, and this is a guide that shows you what size drill bits to use when you're doing when you're tapping and drilling holes and repairing threads. And then I have a nice veneer caliper, and this is a what do you call it? It's got the LED screen and all that good stuff. But this is a nice one, and this is a Harbor Freight, and it was, I believe it was like 19 bucks, 18 bucks, something like that. It's super cheap. So it's, I've had that one for 20 plus years, and it's never let me down. Some good clamps. You're gonna notice, like, if you want to film right here, when you're using clamps as a fabricator, you're gonna use, there could be a job that could take an hour, and honestly, you'll use 30 clamps in that hour, clamping something together and getting it all set up so that you can weld that piece together, or weld it to something, or hold something to another piece, or whatever. C-clamps. These C-clamps here, I bought these years ago at like a yard sale or whatever, and I believe I got them for like 50 cents a piece. And I mean, these are like some of the most used things in the shop. And they have all kinds of different size and styles. You can get them the 3-way C-clamps. These are super handy right here if you want to hold a piece of pipe, or hold a bracket to a pipe, or whatever. You have your big clamps. Everybody knows what these are. Your big C-clamps, welding clamps, and then you have your small ones. And these are Vice Grip brand. You don't need to have Vice Grip brand. You can get them from Harbor Freight or Princess Auto or something like that, and get them, for one of these Vice Grip brands at Harbor Freight, you can get probably 4 Vice Grip brand, or of the Harbor Freight brand. And they're like $3 or $4 a piece at Harbor Freight or Princess Auto, and they still work the same. I mean, in my opinion, if you need them, you need them. If you don't, then if it's something you're gonna be using every day, as a professional, I would say go get the Vice Grip brand. They're a lot nicer, and they're really strong, and they don't move around when you're trying to clamp stuff. So the other styles are these duck bill or flat bill style, and these are Vice Grip brand. Well, this is Harbor Freight Pittsburgh brand, and this one is the Vice Grip brand, and you can see the difference in them. And these are really nice because you can clamp two pieces of metal together, and they can also bend your edges up, use them for all kinds of stuff. One of the most used things that I have in the shop too is when you're using shears, metal shears and stuff, or wiping off your table, is you're gonna use brake clean to wipe off the table or your metal parts with some rags. And don't forget to throw the rags in the garbage after they dry out. Lay them on the floor, dry them out, then throw them in the garbage. And then this Dykem blue steel layout fluid. This is Machinist Die. And what you do is you open this up and you put it on the metal, and it's got a little paintbrush. You let it dry, and then you use your scribe. You use your scribe to scribe out those lines. And this, one of the most used tools ever. Like when you're a fabricator or a welder or something, you want to lay out some lines on something, take your tape measure it out, scratch it, scrawl it, whatever you want to call it, awl it.
That was super funny.
Razor knife with some extra razor blades, and there's some. This one doesn't have any blades in the back of it right now. Oh, maybe it does. I don't know. But anyways, I use this a lot when I'm making templates, and you want to make a cardboard template or a paper template, and you want to cut something so that you can put it on a car or a dump truck or whatever you're welding and fabricating. You want to have something that you can cut out some templates with. And Sharpies, of course, everybody knows what Sharpies are used for. And these are my most favorite right here. And these are Silver Streak welding pencils. And they're awesome because what it is they're used for marking metal, and they leave this really crazy sharp line on the metal. And you can see how nice it is right there. So that when you lay out that line, you can see it really good. It stands out like crazy. And the cool part is you could put this on and then spray out your Dykem blue or Dykem red fluids on top of that stuff, and you can still see those lines, so you can still cut or grind or put pieces to that line or whatever. These are awesome right here, amazing. Every welder needs good soapstone, and these are just for marking metal. And there's square soapstone and round soapstone, and those are invaluable as far as I'm concerned. We talked about this the other day. This is a wire gauge, and this is used for finding the size of the sheet metal that you're going to be using. This is something that you need. All you do is you put it on the edge of the sheet metal and check the shape or check the size of it to see what size sheet metal it is. So that's a nice tool right there. These right here, I haven't seen too many people use these. And these are for scoring lines on the side of something, on the side of some steel. And what you do is you take this Dykem fluid, you spray it on the steel, and then what you would do is, say you want a 2-inch line, you would scribe it like this on the edge, and it lays out a nice line. And these are like ninja stars too. If you have any bad guys in the shop, you can throw them at them.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Chuck Norris. Or wait, that wouldn't be Chuck Norris. That'd be Bruce Lee probably, right?
This is a really nice tool right here. And what this is when you have a piece of steel, aluminum, stainless, or whatever you're working on, or even wood, this is a center finder. And if you have something that you want to mark dead in the center, you take this, you slide this into it, and it finds the exact center, and then you turn it 90 degrees, and it finds the center, and then you'll have a dot right dead in the center of that round object that you're working on. And these are at craft stores and stuff, and you can find them online, everywhere from eBay to Amazon or whatever. These are really cheap, and they're really nice to have. This is a this is a shape finder, or a contour gauge is what it's called. And this contour gauge, it has a bunch of wires right here, and how it works is you push on it. So it's flat here and flat here, but if you want to find the shape of something, you use that contour gauge and you just push on it. And then say you're making something that you need that shape twice, you put that on there, and then you go to the other side, and then the other piece that you made, you want to make sure that it's copying, and it also makes a female and male version. So on each side, it'll give you the different shapes. And these are really handy. They sell these at Menards and Home Depot and Lowe's.
No. Why not? I can drop a camera.
Oh my gosh, did it break it?
No,
All
it's
right. I
fine.
broke the camera, sorry about that, you guys.
Well, that's what our shop floor looks like. Sorry, my hands go dead when I hold this too long.
I told you it was gonna be a long video.
Yeah, that's okay. We got
I
this.
should have had you use a tripod. So.
I know, but it's all right.
Anyways, these are Wiss brand cutters, and there's a left and a right, and then a straight. And yes, for the guy that keeps calling and emailing and texting and everything,
We appreciate it.
appreciate that. But we do have left and right. I've had these for like 25 years. They're actually, these are like my 4th set. So these I bought these ones about 5 years ago, I guess. But we do have cutters, and these are invaluable in the shop also for cutting sheet metal and shapes and whatever. And something else is they have these at craft stores, and you have a flexible shape that you can wrap around things so that you can get other shapes. And they make these in all different shapes and sizes. And you have your square edges, and you have your circles, and you have all kinds of different shapes that you can make with these. And they're super handy because you can flex them around all kinds of different shapes. When you're a fabricator, they're super handy.
So you guys can't see that, but I was just a little blown away there because I didn't realize that flex, like you could drill holes in pipe or make mark holes.
Well, a lot of guys use these when they're doing roll cages on hot rods.
Okay, so
If
you
you're
can
doing
mark your holes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can mark your holes, and then you can wrap these around the roll cage in all different kinds of angles like this. I mean, there's a million ways to do that. And it's just a handy tool to have. Every fabricator needs one of these, and this is a square, and you could do everything from house stairs to the pitch of a roof and truss and angles and 90 degrees and 45s and all kinds of different angles when you're using these doing fabrication. These super handy. You have to have one of these. And what I do is on these, I always end up taking and cutting the corner off. And I did a video on that on a tech tip. And what it is so that you can jam this if there's a weld in the 90 degrees where a piece of metal is here and a piece of metal is here. If you have that 90 degrees here, you can't get in there with a weld. So I always trim off the corner right here so that you can put this in there and it bumps up to the metal all the way. It's really, really nice to have. Something else that a fabricator has to have is tape. This is something super handy. You know, you lay out some lines, or a lot of times what I'll do is if I want to remember something to go back, I put a piece of tape on it, or I'll write something on it, or when we're taking something apart, we'll write the numbers on it. You know, this part goes here, blah, 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 whatever. Super handy to have. A tape measure, a good tape measure. And what I like to have is a nice tape measure that is, you know, marked out where you can see it really good with your eyes, and you don't have to have glasses on to read the, you know, the small letters or whatever. This is just a Stanley 25-footer that came from Menards, and they were selling these for $3 a piece, and we bought like 10 of them, and I think every one of them in the shops left.
Except for that one.
Somebody was like, you know, oh, I want one of those. Anyways, I won't say no names.
Oh my gosh.
So drill bits. Every fabricator needs to have a bunch of drill bits, and this is just one box. I have probably 50 boxes of drill bits, and I go through them like crazy. I'm always throwing them away and whatever. And I started actually saving my drill bits, and I keep them now where when I'm drilling wood, I have my dull ones in the box for wood and the sharp ones in the metal boxes like this, so I can use them in the metal. And then this is another invaluable tool, and this is a automatic center punch. And this is really cool because Joe, if you're watching, next time you got to get some of these. Remember, you don't have to sit and hammer on them like this with a hammer. You just take this, sit it on the wherever you're gonna put a mark, and you push down, and it leaves a mark. Well, you can't see it right there.
It's got a little mark. I can see it. He's getting frustrated.
Anyways, so this leaves a mark. When you push down on it, it'll leave a divot in the metal, and this is a really nice tool to have. A good drill, and this is a Makita brand. Not too thrilled about the Makita brand because the chucks keep getting loose and falling apart, and we have like 3 others that are like that too. I'm not bagging on Makita. I've liked their stuff for a lot of years. There's other Milwaukee and Snap-on, and like you can buy $1 million drills if you wanted to, but you could also buy something from like Menards or Home Depot or something that's cheaper and use it. You don't have to have something super fancy. As long as the batteries keep it charged, that's the biggest thing. It sucks when you're trying to use something and all of a sudden it just dies. and then you got to go find a battery or charge a battery, and that battery only lasts for 10 minutes. Well, these ones last a long, long time, and these are the 18 volts, and these are the lithium ions. That's the best kind of drill if you're gonna get a drill. That's what I highly recommend. Get the lithium style batteries. If you don't have the capability to use one of those, and you have an air compressor, get yourself an air drill. And this is just a Chicago, whatever it is, from Pittsburgh or Harbor Freight or whatever. It's been a good drill. I've had this for a lot of years. And you hook this up to your compressor, and you can use that to drill holes. Something else that's real important as a fabricator is have yourself, and there's one of our sponsors is AMSOIL, but have yourself a notepad and a pen. That way you can write some notes, some measurements, some sizes, whatever. The other thing is, and so I'm sorry this is such a long video. It's just been, it's hard to explain all this stuff when you got so much stuff on. You know, I didn't want to do a 2-part video. But anyways, this is another tool that's super important when you're doing fabrication. And it's a angle checker or angle finder. And you can do all kinds of crazy angles with this. Invaluable, you know, for a fabricator. You have to have one of these. And this is something that I started using in the probably last 5 years or something. And these are like a craft tape measure. And when you're getting a fender put together or something that has a curve in it, it's really hard to take your regular tape measure and flex it like this. It won't flex. You end up breaking your tape measures all the time. Well, this right here will save your butt. And this is a cloth craft tape measure. Or not tape measure, but craft.
Yeah, at every dollar store.
Yeah, and they're super cheap. And you can get a really precise measurement on something that you're measuring, and you can go around all kinds of round and goofy angles and whatever. So that's another tool that you have to have in your fabricator's toolbox.
It used to be in my junk drawer, maybe.
Yep.
Hey.
This is a magnetic level, and this is super handy. Everybody's seen one of these. And this is one of the things, if you're gonna get something, don't get a cheap one. Watch out, dog behind you. Don't get a cheap one. This is a Stabila brand, and my old boss gave this one to me, and I've had this one for about 10 years. And this has been an absolutely awesome level. And the other thing is that the magnets are like super strong. Like you can sit it on there, and you could actually sit tools on it sometimes. So this is a nice tool to have. Magnets. Take some paper, lay out a template, and use magnets to lay down on a table or a car or whatever, so that you can lay those parts down, or hold a piece of cardboard. Here's some strong magnets. These things are crazy strong. And you can get the neodymium magnets also, which are those, I've seen them where they hold like 20 pounds per magnet. They're like crazy strong. You can't even hardly get them off the piece of metal that you put them on. But these were bought at like a craft store. They sell them at like Michael's and Beverly's and all that. A lot of the people that do fabric use magnets also. Here is this is a metal. This is a deal that you use to bend the metal, and it's super handy. You can buy these at like, it's just a sheet metal bender is all it is, and this is used for like HVAC guys, and you can also get it this way. You don't have to have it all the way on, you know, the whole jaw on there. You can get just half a jaw on there. And this is used, you know, for HVAC guys and fabricators and whatever. And it's this is made by Jensen, I believe is the brand, Whitney Jensen. But this one's super old. I found this at a yard sale, and I believe I paid like $1 for it. And it's all wiped out and worn out. But I mean, the thing is still just, I've had it for years and it works great. If you're gonna be doing sheet metal work, one of the things that you need to have that's super important is you need to have some good body dolly hammers. And here's a selection of body dolly hammers. They do not have to be Snap-on. They can be Harbor Freight. They don't have to be Harbor Freight. They can be some cheap brand. It doesn't matter. A body hammer, as long as it's a good quality body hammer, it'll get you a long ways. You can build a car with just body hammers. And dollies to go along with the body hammers. That's another thing that you need in your excuse me, in your fabricator toolbox. A good impact, and I have a 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch bits that you put sockets on. And one of the things that you're gonna need when you have the impact or hand tools, and you're gonna need as a fabricator, and I didn't want to lay that out on the table, You're gonna need a good set of sockets and wrenches and screwdrivers. You know, a handheld carrying toolbox. You know, like just an everyday mechanic toolbox. It's something that's super handy to have because you'll be taking stuff apart, building parts for it, and putting it right back together, and spending a lot of time doing it. And if you have the right tools to do that, you know, it'll save your butt. Die grinders. I have all kinds of different die grinders. I got about 10 pair. And these are, you hook them up to air and you can cut metal with them. You could buff with them with buffing pads. You can put Rolox discs on these. There's just all kinds of certain things that you can do with the die grinders, and they're super handy. And you can also get bits for these. And a lot of times when you're a fabricator, you can take bits and cut out pieces of metal and stuff, aluminum and stainless and whatever, and you can get these carbide bits to go with them. And I have all kinds of bits here, you can see those. A tuck shrinker. If you're a fabricator, this is something that you really need. I haven't really needed one in a lot of years because I had a stump, but I made one of these the other night, and it's been, you know, I've used it a couple times already. So this is something that I think you'll use a lot. And it's just 2 chisels welded to a piece of metal. And I'm gonna do a video on this pretty soon. But it's an invaluable tool also. To go along with your body hammers and dollies, this is a slapper spoon or a slapper hammer. Somebody's gonna whine about it being called a spoon. Yes, they're called a spoon. So anyways, these are used when you have a dent and you're a fabricator and you're trying to shape something or get some dents out of something. You spray on your Dykem die and you file it. And I have body files and all that, and then you start slapping that area and bending it back into shape where it needs to go. Super handy. And last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short here, or not short, but off here. But PPE, your personal protection equipment, super important to have your gloves, safety glasses, and earplugs. And what I do is these earplugs, I have a little carabiner. And a lot of times I'll put them on my welding helmet or on my neck or in my pocket or whatever and keep them in this little canister or whatever. And I get some high quality, good, like 3M or whatever brand safety glasses and some gloves because you'll cut the hell out of your hand. I just did it a minute ago, matter of fact. But anyways, so this is usually the tools that you would have in a fabricator's toolbox. And this is pretty much everything I could think of. I just kind of threw this together so I could do a video for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys. Later.